Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us for this cybersecurity R&D roadshow. So in this particular plenary session, in the morning, we will be covering the cybersecurity R&D and more importantly, looking at what exactly happened until now and how can we scale up the R&D effort for India's future. So, in this particular session, so in this session, we have a good composition of the speaker covering the 3-4 different aspects. Mr. Arvind Kumar, who is NTG Group Coordinator, Cybersecurity R&D in IT, who had been overseeing the cybersecurity R&D initiatives of Ministry of Electronics and IT. Mr. Sudarshan, Executive Director, CDAC, who had been one of the key contributors for cybersecurity R&D, and Mr. Sachin Lodha, who had been overseeing the cybersecurity and privacy R&D in TCS. And Dr. Rai would be chairing and monitoring this session. So over to you, Dr. Rai, to taking us through the session.
Thank you, Vinay, for introducing all the speakers.
Thank you, Vinay. Thank you, Shishti. Good morning, my esteemed panelists, and good morning, the participants. It's really a pleasure, and I'm grateful to be on this panel, to be chairing the panel. We have friends, we have 3 panelists, esteemed panelists. The DSCI has done a good job, an excellent job inviting the panelists from a different section, which are deeply involved in the research and development, not for last 5 years, but for the last more than 20 years, which I'm seeing them. So they represent 3 different cross sections of the society, as the private sector, the government, and the society, and the government come private kind of a society there. So it's a well balanced, and the 3 panelists are very enlightened, very well known icon in their areas. So we will ask, the panel will be like this, that we will be asking them the questions, and they will respond to the questions, and we will then after the discussions, then we will invite few questions from the participants also. Friends, today we are in such a digital transformation which has taken the shape much different than what we expected about a year ago. We never expected that we will be connected on a horizontal network. People from different locations will be coming together, doing their work in place. The remote working from home, so-called WFM, has become a culture. I find that many of the established companies, not here in India, but abroad, they said that we will continue to work from home. Now, this culture has brought a different digital transformation, as I said it there. Anyway, the digital transformation which is taking place is a heterogeneous kind of a things, where heterogeneous devices are connected, heterogeneous locations are there, and we are trying to do the business, do the work together, whether it's a research and development or it has its own business activity or commercial activity. This kind of environment and the digital transformation has its own kind of issues there. The heterogeneity itself brings a lot of issues there. See, issue of cyber security has become very, very important in the digitally internet connected network. Nobody can say that they are on the private network. Every one of us is on the internet, connected on a public, maybe on a private, but ultimately we are connected on a public and private network. The issue becomes very, very important. The kind of a cyber incidents which we are seeing it are altogether different, mind-boggling kind of issues which are coming up. The development is taking at its own time, but the hackers, the adversaries are moving at a much higher speed. They don't create by themselves. They exploit the product created by the by the good people, by the R&D labs there. So we are in a altogether different kind of a scenario. Things are mutating. If you look at the COVID kind of a thing, that gives us a lesson that we use the mask, we take precautions, not for ourselves, but because for others also there. So, and it is getting mutating. We don't know what is happening there. So is the case with cyber security. We need to protect ourselves. We need to protect others also. We need to protect ourselves to protect others. Others need to protect themselves to protect us there. That's a kind of a scenario we are entered into. It's a great challenging. Now, in this scenario, what is the role of the research and development there? Today, in the digital transformation age, we need to react quickly. IT need to react quickly. Different solutions have to come up there. Every region, every country has its own issues with respect to the security, with respect to the many other kind of issues are there. There are certain issues which need to be customized, which need to be solved within the country, and particularly when we are in a area where trust is a very crucial, important factors there. We listen the backdoors, we listen so many other kind of malwares which are creeping in there. I myself have been dealing for almost a decade the incident. Every incident used to be a different incident. So we are in a different kind of environment which we are dealing with this. The development of the indigenous product is become in essence of the time today, because we are not sure what the product we get from different places will meet or will be trustworthy. Apart from that, we need to have our own Indian industry. We need to cater to our own digital transformation, with respect to our own culture, with respect to own custom and our requirements there. So the security is very, very important there. The country in the last couple of years has given a lot of impetus to the cyber security R&D. A different kind of environment has emerged where a lot of startup has come up to create a product, and they are all very mind-boggling, very innovative products are there. Today, it appears to me the culture has set in where every company dealing with whether it's IT or non-IT, they have their own R&D, and the culture of development of a product has crept in there. And I'm sure in time to come, things will improve. DSCI itself was created for the security, for promoting the security, creating the awareness in the area of cyber security. But today they have gone a big way in terms of encouraging startup. In terms of, they have set up a big incubation center with the help of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, where a lot of startup has come up. They're trying to demonstrate their product. They're working together to create a product or to create the culture of creating a product. So trying to solve the problem there. I think this is the best time for the last couple of years, 3-4 years. The lot of encouragement has come to research and development. But if you ask me as a technical person, are you satisfied? Yes, I'm satisfied. Yes, as well as no. Because we have the potential. We need to do a more. A large country, we need to do a more. And I think we will do a more. And because of the right kind of people which are coming up, right kind of environment which the government is trying to create, I think we will be able to move at a much faster speed than what we have. Today, friends, we have 3 panelists, as I said. Mr. Arvind Kumar, he is the group coordinator, and he is pursuing the research and development for so many years. He is the Director General STQC also, and he has a wide experience to deal with the different aspects of the technology. We have Dr. Sadanandan, and he is the Executive Director CDAC. And he has a deep rich experience, and CDAC Bangalore, where he is heading the entire thing, has undertaken a variety of kind of projects. One of the projects which they did it was to set up a lab for testing the crypto product. This is all entire indigenous efforts there. Whether he's talking about the SCADA or talking about the large computer system, the supercomputer system, my friend Dr. Sudarshan has been involved, fully involved. The lab is fully involved, and the Sachin, who doesn't know the research and development Tatas. So we have we couldn't have imagined a better kind of a panelist than the three iconic figures. So now I will request each of the panelists to speak for introduce the speak for 5 minutes, and then we will get into the mutual interaction. So first I request Mr. Arvind Kumar to say for 5 minutes. Mr. Arvind Kumar.
Thank you, sir. First of all, good morning, and good morning to the chair, Dr. Gulshan Rai, and my fellow panelist, Sachin Lodaji from TCS, Dr. Sudarshan from CDAC. I think it's a great opportunity for me to be part of the panel chaired by Dr. Gulshan Rai with eminent panelists. And I would like to congratulate DSCI, as Dr. Rai has brought out, that they are doing this virtual roadshow in the very important area of R&D in cyber security. I think the subject has got the focus, the central attention today. Although it has been deliberated at various forums, but this kind of attention which needs with the right kind of experts and eminent people, I think this is the right kind of platform have been created, and giving a further push or direction to the R&D in cybersecurity area. I would like to include R&D and innovation, and again the supporting to the startups is a continuous program which the government is also pursuing, as well as the agencies like DSCI also supporting over a period of time. As all of us know, and in the opening remarks, Dr. Rajendra Kumar, the Additional Secretary METI, also brought out with so much of digitizations happening now, and almost all governance, the businesses, and even the other support sectors of health, education, agriculture, everything is moving into the heavy use of digital technologies, and the technologies are also moving very fast and changing very rapidly. So I think this is an opportunity, and giving a challenge as well about securing the system so that we get the right services, we get the right kind of environment made for promotion of such kind of areas. And I strongly feel that the cyber security posture improvement is not only the responsibility of the government, but also the businesses, and as well as the academia, and our citizens also have a great role to play in this. So therefore, it's a collective responsibility, it's a collective work. I think in this area, we not only need to work on the developing new technologies, but we should also looking at commercializing, productization, and creating some infrastructure, important infrastructure in the country, as well as building the capacities at all levels. At all levels means it's starting from the researchers to the common man who is using the technology. So if we look at, because the topic of the panel discussion is current efforts and future initiatives in the R&D cybersecurity, I would like to bring to the notice of the members here, that participants here, that I think METI pioneered this activity of cybersecurity way back. I think it is almost 2 decades back, and Dr. Gulshan was that time heading the whole activity from the ministry side. We not only propounded a futuristic national cybersecurity policy, which is released in 2013, but also the IT Act and 2000, and further amended in 2008. So that's a kind of framework which was set up at that point of time. But at the same time, we know that with the passage of time, the technologies and the platforms and the systems have got changed tremendously, as brought out by the previous speakers. And there is a greater digital push to all the activities, as well as there is a industry 4.0, which is at the stage of ramping up the adoption in the industries. So therefore, the newer technologies, the emerging technologies, another area where our ministry is focusing and trying to address the challenges of not only cybersecurity, but other kind of challenges as well. So that is the area where we are focusing now in our research side, besides having the research in through the academia and other in the traditional systems and products. The new challenges which we are finding again is in the area of data protection, data privacy, as well as if we look at the social media platforms which are being used and misused in various ways, is also giving a bigger challenge. And therefore, in the light of new technology, new challenges, there are new threats coming out of from the organized criminal groups. There's coming out of the increased state-sponsored cyber attacks. So all these things need to be addressed. While looking at developing a technology for cybersecurity, we have to look very comprehensively addressing the challenges and the threats which are posed in the new environment and the future environment to come. If you look at this pandemic situation of COVID-19, as most of the speaker brought out, work from home is a new normal. But at the same time, there's an increase of more than 20% in the cyber threats. So that's how embracing the technology on the one side and facing the challenges, and we need to address those challenges at the same time. So if I look at the METI initiative in the research areas, so METI has always been working with various R&D organizations. CDAC is one of them sitting in the panel, and there are academia through which we are working, as well as we are working with the industries as well for doing that. Most of the research which we have done in the past, it is primarily towards helping the our LEAs or the intelligence agencies and helping the government in creating the technologies. The various areas which we have created technologies includes network and system security, cryptography, cryptanalytics, which also have a threat intelligence. And we also look at the cyber forensics as one area of research, besides being focused on 5G, cloud, big data, IoT security, and other things. That's how we look at. If I go back and see the kind of work being done, there are a number of proof of concepts, more than 70 proof of concepts have been done. There are a number of technologies which have been POC at the POC level, and the capacity building. If you look at the more than 350 PhDs, and this kind of contribution has been done. But as brought out by the chairman, are we happy with the present state of affairs, or we need to do something more? I think if I look at the technology development per se in this area, METI has given a number of technologies which are being used at the national level. Whether it is a SIEM network monitoring tool which has been developed, which is a cyber forensic tools. In the area of cryptography, we have in the blockchain, we have developed the technologies for Telangana government for this registration of housing and all. So there are a number of technologies which have been developed under the program, but somehow they have not been resulted into the productization, the commercialization as being focused in today's environment. And we have changed our steering, and we are also moving the direction. I will come back to that in the subsequent part of my talk. If you look at the infrastructure, a number of infrastructure has been brought out. One of the very important infrastructure as brought out by the chair is we have created a national level crypto evaluation facility in CDAC Bangalore with ISC Bangalore. That is NIST 5th standard 140-2 standard. This is the only national facility which is very much required in today's context, and it was conceptualized at the right time by my predecessors, and now it has taken a shape. And if we look at the kind of common criteria data facility, that's also been brought up to the level 4 in STQC labs through the METI programs. And besides that, we have also created facilities for trusted computing, biometric devices testing, as brought out by Dr. Rajendra Kumar sir in the beginning, that digital platform like National Digital Health Mission, National Digital Platform for Agriculture, Urban Development, these are coming up. So the kind of infrastructure is also being created to address the platform level security being given to these kind of various programs. If you look at the kind of laboratories which are impaneled by CERT-In, it's a huge infrastructure already created in the country. STQC has also impaneled lab for cyber security testing. So the kind of infrastructure which has been created under the METI program is been extensively used today, and they're being used for various kind of production mechanisms by not only the government but also the private institutions. The newer challenges which we are working on are the data anonymization, data protection, data privacy. We are also working on the forensics laboratory empowerment under Section 79A of IT Act, and creating huge capacities of cyber capacity building in not only northeastern region but the whole of the country I think the various setup has been created in CBI Academy, as well as the police, as well as in the judiciary, and the numbers, there are a huge number of people have been trained in that. So that is a kind of work which has already been done by the METI programs. Now, if I look at the last 2-3 years, we have started working not only with academia, but with the industries very closely. DSCI is one such focal organization through which we spearhead our industry interaction in various cybersecurity programs. The creation of a center of excellence, it's a national center of excellence. I think it will be part of some kind of presentation subsequently, but Dr. Vinayak will be giving a presentation on that. It is one such development. So there is a paradigm shift in the way we want to pursue the whole concept of research. Research by promoting the security of future technologies, translating the low-lying technologies which have already been developed under the METI program into the products, supporting the startup ecosystem, giving the investment and the market adoption. I think these are the areas where Center of Excellence of this DSCI is working, which is the way forward which we are taking right now. Now, if I look at the kind of project which we want to sponsor now, the new direction which METI is taking now is creating more focus on India stack of cybersecurity digital platform system for innovations, calling startups to come forward and try to innovate product in the digital cybersecurity platform. And we want to have a very stronger interaction with startups and MSME through various kind of initiative like COE or maybe the Grand Challenge or maybe some other program which we think of. Sandboxing is another area which we are working on as digital health mission system, as well as this fintech has already working. We want to promote the sandboxing approach in different areas of cybersecurity products. So then again, the effective use of the PMA is another thing which is lacking today. That will be given. That will be definitely given more stress on that. We would like to focus on the higher technology radical levels, higher TRL products and solution technologies, so they can be translated and which can definitely result into the creating our own products, which is a essentiality and the need of the country, having our own production mechanism rather having a product which is developed by elsewhere, and we do not know what kind of protection or what kind of leakage it is giving to us. So that is how in which area we are trying to work. I am looking forward to a research which is not only with academia, with industry, MSME, startups, and giving us something like a collaborative research, a contract research, creating intellectual properties of the country itself, focus on various indigenous problems, giving frugal solutions, as well as ramping up them to the international level for the global, making a global product. I think that is the approach which we are supposed to take. And definitely the focus on data protection and privacy with the trusted security product is another challenge, which through OTTPS and other kind of system we need to build in the country. There are very few organizations right now working in this R&D. METI is one of them, such NSCS as brought out by Janapant, and then there is a BP R&D and maybe some work in DRDO or maybe DOT. I think the time has come. We can have a very centralized approach, a national strategy on R&D and innovation leading to the indigenous product that should be worked out. This kind of prioritization has to be done in the country. I think METI is there to work on this part and taking the lead in this area. And I think this could be one of the outcome of this particular virtual roadshow that I'm looking at. And that is all from my side at this moment. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity.
Thank you very much. Now I request Mr. Sachin Lodha from the TCS to take exactly 5 minutes, not more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Good morning to everyone. I think it's great to be here. So briefly, I'll first just talk about TCS research per se. See, TCS has a very long history of research, close to 4 decades now. Our first research center was started in Pune Development and Design Center. We have organized ourselves in multiple research areas, right? So, for example, we have groups working on physical sciences research, We have groups doing life sciences research. And cybersecurity and privacy happens to be one of these 11 areas of research that TCS is seriously invested in. As very rightly pointed out by Dr. Rai and also Arvind sir, that cybersecurity and privacy are very critical and essential for the success of this whole digitalization, right? Everything is essentially becoming a computer. Everything is going to run some software and is going to be connected to internet somehow, right? So in the light of this, how do we secure so that we can reap the benefit of this digitalization is a very, very pertinent challenge. It's not just for now, but for future. So last 2 decades, as cybersecurity and privacy research team in TCS, right, we have been working on number of interesting problems. See, the big advantage we have as a TCS is that we basically are closer to the real world problems. We get to interact with a lot of our customers, and through them we come to know the real issues that are out there. And this allows us to kind of step back and formulate problem statements that are more widely applicable, useful, and usable, right? So TCS does both. We do a lot of serious research as well as we try to build offerings that are based on this research. So as part of research, currently we are working on 5 different themes. So first theme is on trustworthy AI. As we know, AI is becoming all pervasive. How do you build trust about this AI is a very important challenge, because without that, the utilization of AI will not be to its fullest potential. The second big theme for us is de-risking cloud. And in fact, with this new normal and the current mode of working, we are seeing even bigger adoption of cloud. So how do we de-risk cloud is a huge theme for us. Third, we are looking at securing IoT. Our reading is that the current market forces are such that the developer or manufacturers of these things have no real interest in doing security or privacy by design. So the big question is now, how do we live with these kind of insecure privacy breaching things is a big challenge. And what kind of deployment, what kind of data sharing should happen when we are surrounded by these things is a big challenge that we are looking at. The next theme for us is privacy by design. As Arvind sir also pointed out, that data protection and privacy are huge topics. Even in India, we are seeing personal data protection bill, non-personal data governance framework. We are looking at data empowerment and protection architecture. There is a lot of deliberation and discussion happening, and this all has to be supported by technology. So in the past, we have been successful in productizing a lot of our research in privacy and building privacy enhancing technologies. In fact, we have also recently announced our consent and data rights management solution that could be very useful. But I think the whole game of both security and privacy has to shift left, and we have to do all by design. And that's a huge challenge. And last but not the least, the human aspects of cybersecurity and privacy, which again is very important for a country like ours with a large population we have, which is kind of not always very tech savvy. There are language barriers, there are age-related issues, right? So how do we kind of build usable, secure systems that could be widely adopted is an important challenge, and that's something we are looking at. On the innovation side, I'll just make these remarks. See, the research for us is rupees in and idea out. But for innovation, it is more of idea in and rupees out. So TCS has a very well-defined new products and services development process. And what we do is some of our successful research artifacts, we take it through this process and let them undergo serious engineering so that they can be taken off for commercialization by business. With that, I'll stop and it will be interesting to take more questions later. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sachin. I would request Mr. Sudarshan to take forward the chat.
So, good morning to all of you. It's indeed a pleasure and happy occasion. I must definitely start with congratulating DSA and Vinayak in particular. They are continuing COVID or no COVID, the mission of taking the cybersecurity agenda ahead to keep the country right on top and keep it safe and secure. And Dr. Roy, Gulshan Roy, he is a father figure in cybersecurity, and he has given an extremely nice outline. Thanks to him, he has already outlined a couple of key initiatives that C-DAC is doing for the nation. And from that perspective, my task becomes that much easier. And Sri Arvind Kumar ji, he has highlighted a complete gamut of initiatives that have happened in the past and the plans in hand from the governmental perspective, MeitY perspective, and also threw up a very grand vision of saying that we have to now time to collaborate and have a central collaborative policy where the various agencies that are working on, they are all put together, and there is a web of cyber secure net which protects us. That's extremely a well thought out and national level idea. Definitely extremely nice idea, and definitely our industry speaker, Mr. Lodha, very nicely put it out. Rupee in, product out versus idea in, where you actually put rupees and then based on idea, output may or may not come. So we also call R&D as a risk and development because the research aspect is always coming with a risk. So just to keeping the timeline in mind, I'll make a few generic high-level statements which will give enough inputs. And for more details, in this roadside itself, C-DAC has a virtual showroom, and we are already demonstrating dozen plus technologies where you can actually go and see the gamut during the rest of the day. So that way, C-DAC is already well covered in this event itself. But coming back to the activities, at one end, C-DAC is a really advanced computing mission. So we are looking at setting up national level facilities and first of a kind researchers, where with the support of MeitY and other agencies, also with standardization bodies, we are working on coming up with new technologies that are unique for India as well as that can probably interoperate on need basis. One such mission is the crypto validation setup that we have. And the other aspect that, for example, we have is we are both empaneled a certain agency as C-DAC, and then we also have a complete SCADA testbed where you can play out, gamify, your red team, blue team concepts to experiment. So that way we also have national level facilities for anyone to use. The other aspect is beyond research. Whatever we develop, there is a need for transferring it to the industry so that they can see the light of the day in a commercially attractive way, which is feasible economically and technically viable. So that part we are doing by engaging with industry. Currently, the focus is more on MSME and startup. Like Dr. Arvind Kumar ji mentioned, we are looking at running grand challenges where we identify startups and MSMEs and other institutions where we can give specific technologies for as part of the larger solution. And then whatever solution we already have, nothing works if you do not have the appropriate manpower. So we also are having a number of activities to develop the manpower. For example, with NASSCOM and DSCI, we are also working on Prime for cyber security as one of the verticals. So there, specific courses that are suited both for IT and OT environments. That means we are looking at industrial security, critical infrastructure security, as well as traditional IT security, enterprise security. All of them put together in a complementary way, in an integrated way. That is what we are working on. So there will be appropriate manpower, which is one of the strong shortages that India is facing. That also can be taken care. And in terms of efforts and what we have in our plans, one thing we know, for example, is with the IT OT integration, where it is not just cryptography and encryption, but it is about industrial safety and availability, because we are looking at cyber physical systems, as we call them. They are all real-time physical systems. They can have a very huge impact. So from that perspective, we are working at application-aware firewall, for example. So solutions that actually keep in mind what is the situation and what is the application. Accordingly, the firewall also will use AI, ML, the recent technologies, and they'll continuously learn and adopt. And we are also coming up with the trust models, which are not 0 or 1 type of trust. It is trust based on the specific use case, specific entity, and the location in which from where they are connecting. Because same person or same entity, depending on the location and depending on the kind of connectivity that they have, trusted VPN versus in-house internet and so on. Accordingly, the trust level can be organized. So it's a kind of a adaptive trust systems or something we are looking at. And then we are also looking at what happened to the data movement, both personal data as well as non-personal data, keeping the privacy laws and anonymity, all those things in mind, as well as regulations of country specific or boundary specific technologies. Those are also being looked at. And in addition, we are working with a lot of law enforcement agencies, which need not be discussed here, but we have enough capabilities there as well as, and we are working on it. And just in the interest of time, I think probably, though we have a lot more, I will encourage each of you to actually go around the virtual show, and please do not miss out the CDAC stalls. And now, I'll cut down from my time a couple of minutes so that, we still stick to the time. And back to Dr. Rai, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sudarshan. I'm very grateful to all the three esteemed panelists for giving lot of details, lot of kind of information which many of the participants and including like me are. It's lovely to know. It's good to know that. Now the time doesn't permit. In fact, I wanted to ask more information from my esteemed panelists because all of them cannot be made available, cannot come there together. It's really a pleasure for us that we three are there. But I will summarize, and because 5 minutes are left out in the session, until unless when I permits to extend the session for 10 minutes. But till the time, I would take the liberty to summarize the session and put forward certain point to think for to all the three panelists. Friends, all the three panelists are given a very good, exhaustive kind of a, Arvind Kumar is doing very exhaustive kind of activity. The government is pursuing it. My friend Sachin has talked about the activities of the TCS, and he's particularly said that the TCS is now trying to deal with the emerging technologies and how to use those, how to create those products and to use for their work as well as for the rest of the thing. Dr. Sudarshan talked about it, the activities of this CDAC. Friends, it all appears to be very, very rosy. Yes, I'm not saying rosy. When I said that I'm satisfied, also I'm not satisfied, yes or no. In the sense that the field is opening now much. Lot of expectations are needed there. There are so many loose ends in our R&D sector. If we talk about the Atmanirbhar or vocal for local kind of a initiative which the mandate is given by the Honorable Prime Minister, I think we need to go a lot. The first thing in my view is that there has to be an integration between Dr. Arvind Kumar, Dr. Sachin Lodha and Dr. Sudarshan. I'm not talking about three individuals. I'm talking about the three kind of a nature of the different organs of the society they are representing to. That's what the DSI got a job. So all the three need to work together to reap the benefit of the technology. Friends, today the time is not there when someone, each one of the organs of our society start developing a product as an ab initio product. They had to take a product developed by one, and it has to be taken up for a better kind of a staging or a maturity by other organizations there. And maybe some other organization will use their product and create the development. We need a lot of time, we need a lot of money to be like a Microsoft or the Google or IBM, all kind of a thing to create ab initio technology, and on its own, we don't have that kind of a money. So there has to be a integration among the three different organs of the society, and that's what the job the government of India and particularly Arvind Kumar will have to look at to do that. The second is that we need an integrated research and development framework, looking to the emerging technologies which are coming up, which environment area which is coming up. I think that the Ministry of Electronics and IT has drawn a list which they have been funding the project. They need to enhance the funding. Government has to come forward, enhance the funding. We always say, the government is saying, look at the dichotomy of the government. The government says that spend 3% of their investment of their entire income into R&D. But look at it, the funding of the which has gone to R&D by the government department. I think we need to follow that at home, the principle, charity begins at home. We need to earmark to that extent of funding what we expect the private sector to do that. Because that is not something we create a product. We need to catalyze, seed a soul, and encourage the private sector to come for the research and development. The private sector and Dr. Sudarshan kind of a organizations there, I think they also need to work together to support each other. They should take it. CDAC has developed a huge lot of technology there. I wanted to ask Dr. Sudarshan, what is the thing you have developed or dabbled into almost every area? What is your program? Those technologies should be transferred to see the day of life and then improvement upon them. So that has to be a proper kind of a connectivity between Dr. Sachin Lodha as well as Dr. Sudarshan, the organization which they or the organs of the society they represent there, so that there is an integrated program, and we need this kind of a framework for the next 10 years, minimum 10 years. After that, each one will be will sustain their operation sufficiently, and they can compete internationally there. At the end, I would compliment and I would thank DSCI for taking such a good initiative. They have launched a big program, and which are very, very important for creating the R&D culture. They have done it. One is the incubation center. I have the pleasure and the occasion, opportunity to visit that center. There today, technology display demonstration is happening there. The second, they are steering the program. The Ministry of Electronics and IT, where challenging program. They are trying to bring out a challenge among the startup to create a good product, solve a good problem there. And I think these are the steps which DSCI has taken within whatever resources they have. They are very pioneering and they are really very worth appreciating. And I'm very, very hopeful that the initiative which CDAC has taken, they will take many more such initiatives and a more regular interval, so that we all together sit down together and we try to see each other, and maybe that will help us to bring us together and work together in an integrated manner. I thank once again DSCI. I thank all my three of the esteemed panelists and the moderator, Shristi, for bringing us together, for interacting with the participants, and also dispersing the information from the three different organs of the society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, respected speakers, for sharing your views. Thank you, Dr. Rai, for sharing your views on India's emerging cybersecurity R&D. Our attendees can share their thoughts around the initiative on social media using the hashtag CSRND Roadshow and hashtag National COE, and do not forget to tag DSCI. While we move on to our next session in Audi 1, I request all the attendees to visit the exhibition booth as well. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.